President Muhammadu Buhari in Bauchi State inaugurates projects, reiterates commitment to the well-being of Nigerians. National Assembly begins deliberation on the President's request for military helicopter, just as the National Economic Council backs the executive's requests. And federal government says undocumented movement of persons and animals can no longer be tolerated. Good evening and thank you for joining us on NTA Network News. I am Elizabeth Stover and I'm in Abuja while Elizabeth Omori joins me from Lagos and Charles Abba is in Makati. President Muhammadu Buhari says he will not betray the confidence Nigerians have in him. Speaking at the inauguration of 500 trucks in Bauchi, President Buhari says government will prosecute anybody who engages in corrupt practice. He says money received from looted funds will be put into the treasury. The president called on the people of Bauchi and Nigerians to send their children to school, reminding them of the importance of education in human life. He advises politicians to play the game by the rule as the country is approaching another election period. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has challenged the nation's military to work together towards the re-establishment of the Armed Forces Medical Services in line with the Defense Agency of Nigeria through the articulation and execution of joint policy schemes and programs by the three services. This, he said, is to optimize the utilization of medical resources and avoid duplication of efforts in service delivery. The president was speaking at the inauguration of the Nigeria Air Force Reference Hospital in Bauchi as part of his two-day official visit to the state. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that President Muhammadu Buhari, who is visiting Bauchi for the first time, also inaugurated a number of projects executed by the Muhammad Abubakar administration. Amongst them are the Giwo Gida Mai Road and the rehabilitated State Assembly Junction Road, named after the former governor of the state, Dahiru Muhammad Deba.
And the community as a whole. It will specifically provide additional medical support for members of the armed forces involved in counter-insurgency operations in the Northeast. The counter-insurgency efforts are bound to be enhanced by the location of this medical facility because of its proximity to theaters of operation. It will reduce the hitherto long distance to 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital and Nigerian Air Force Hospital, Kaduna, for casualties, thus saving time for casualty evacuation. The strategic goal is that more lives will be saved from operational injuries. Furthermore, this hospital would reinforce the national trauma medical support for critical emergencies such as natural or man-made disasters.
Senator Magnus Abe has pledged support for President Muhammadu Buhari's re-election bid. He has also declared his intention to contest the 2019 governorship race in Rivers State under the APC. Osinachi Abraham reports on the development which took place at the inauguration of Senator Abe's liaison office in Port Harcourt, Rivers State.
It was the official inauguration of Senator Magnus Abe's campaign office, tagged Freedom House in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Excited members of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State gathered to express joy at the development in the party. This is just as Party Faithful insists that the declaration of President Buhari's second bid will give the president the opportunity to continue with his change agenda and reposition every sector of the economy for the good of Nigerian people.
This time under Magnus Abe, we will give well over 1 million votes to the president. Magnus Abe is a very civilized, exposed, and well-spoken man. Is it not true? Yeah.
Senator Abe, while declaring the Freedom House open, dedicated the House towards APC victory in 2019. He stated that the House would provide APC members in Rivers State the platform to strategize on ways to ensure President Buhari's victory at the federal.
We must give our president the maximum support he needs to fulfill our expectations and build a better Nigeria. We have put our hands on the plow. We cannot go back. We can only go forward.
Various group and party chieftains at the event expressed support for Senator Abe in the state and President Buhari to take the country to an enviable position. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Silvanus Abraham, NTA News.
More on the political scene, some supporters of Senator Ali Modi Sharif, former chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, have announced their movement to the All Progressives Congress, APC. National chairman of the APC, Chief John Odegi Oyegun, received the defectors, saying their coming into the APC family is timely and will add value to the party's quest to retain power beyond 2019. Saliu Abdullahi reports.
Among the group of former PDP members who expressed their desire to join the APC are serving and former members of the National Assembly, as well as state chairmen from across the country. The successes of the Buhari administration in transforming the country with positive effect on human lives encouraged the group to join the path of progress being championed by the APC.
That we are now collapsing into APC.
It is good we are having this ceremony today, but again our constitution provides that you must go back to your words and register formally.
Speakers, including the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, called for collective efforts from well-meaning Nigerians to support government's effort to ensure continuity in governance.
But within just the 3 years that God has bestowed upon the APC the privilege to manage the affairs of this country, there is obviously a difference in terms of style, in terms of pursuit, in terms of purpose.
Governors of Kano, Kaduna, and Kogi witnessed the event.
We actually are looking for more and more and more states.
The APC constitution was thereafter presented to the defectors in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The resident electoral commissioner in Kogi State, Professor James Apham, says all necessary arrangements have been put in place for the recall of the senator representing Kogi West, Senator Dino Melaye, on Sunday. The commissioner disclosed this at a meeting with stakeholders in Lokoja. Charles Alpha reports.
Professor James Apham said the recall process of Senator Dino Melaye, which begins with verification of signatures, will be carried out on Saturday in about 560 polling units in Kogi West, while declaration of outcome of the exercise will be done at INEC's local government area office in Lokoja on Sunday, the 29th.
Our staff have been trained at the state and local government levels and materials procured and sent to the registration area centers ready for movement to the polling units on the day of verification.
The petition, he said, can only be verified if at least 51% of the signatures or thumbprints of the registered voters in the constituency are ascertained. The commissioner warned those who did not have business with the recall process to stay away, as decisive measures have been taken to deal with anyone found wanting. The national commissioner supervising Kogi, Kwara, and Nasarawa states, Mohammed Haruna, and other stakeholders called for the peaceful conduct of the exercise and urged every party involved to play by the rules. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
We earlier told you that it was a massive demonstration of support, loyalty, adoration and respect for President Muhammadu Buhari by the people of Bauchi as he begins a two-day official visit to the state. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
This is President Muhammadu Buhari's first official visit to the home of tourism and hospitality since coming to power. A highly fulfilled Governor Muhammad Abubakar was at the head of a high-powered delegation, including Governor Muhammad Bindo Jibril of Adamawa State, to give him a befitting reception. In Bauchi, President Muhammadu Buhari is highly revered as an epitome of honesty, trust, justice, and love for the nation and humanity. The people, therefore, turned out massively along the major streets of the ancient city to not only show appreciation for his visit, but reaffirm their unflinching support and loyalty to the Nigerian leader. The Emir of Bauchi, Dr. Rilwan Suleiman Adamu, who received the president on behalf of his people, presented a copy of a Holy Quran to him as a mark of honor, and the response by the Nigerian leader was instructive and reassuring.
Those who go by the Holy Quran, they know the basis with the belief that it contains is justice. Justice in whatever you preside in life, from your household to the nation. I'm doing my best.
The Emir appreciated the president for restoring hope to the promising future of Nigeria, as well as appointing indigenes of Bauchi State to man key government positions.
I am ever grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your determination to make a difference in the life of this great nation. We continue to pray for the success of your efforts and of your policies and programs. We appreciate the courage, determination and foresight of the governor and consider him a worthy complement of the effort of Mr. President.
President Buhari was also at the Tafawa Balewa Stadium, where he flagged off the Bauchi State government's poverty alleviation program. 500 units of 75 HP tractors, farm implements, and loan packages for agricultural enterprise scheme were presented to beneficiaries. While commending Governor Abubakar for the worthy initiative, the president urged the beneficiaries to make the best use of the items to justify the purpose for which they are issued. The governing APC, he also promised, will continue to create programs that are aimed at alleviating the suffering of the people and improving their living conditions.
Arzikin da Allah makasar nan ya zama na al'umma sun amfananta, na ce zan sake tsayawa da yarda Allah, zan kuma tsaya.
Governor Muhammad Abubakar of Bauchi State takes pride in the giant strides recorded by his administration in fulfillment of pre-election promises. He expressed optimism that the agricultural enterprise scheme and loan facility will go a long way in fighting the twin evils of hunger and poverty, as well as create employment opportunities to the teeming youth across the state. From Bauchi, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the undocumented movement of persons and animals can no longer be tolerated, as this contributes to security challenges in the sub-region. The Vice President, at the opening of the three-day ECOWAS regional meeting of Ministers of Agriculture and Security, advised the West African nations to comply with the ECOWAS 1979 Transhuman Protocol and activate relevant sections of the protocol to prevent the sub-region from falling into a catastrophe. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Can no longer continue to
Countries of the West African sub-region must collaborate to end the herders farmers conflict, the Vice President warned.
Of our security challenges. We must be able to...
The conflict, which he observes, is caused by the struggle for resources such as water and land, and is now putting on the robe of religion, ethnicity, and partisan grievances.
Clearly, the importance of regional cooperation in border management, in law enforcement, and in identity management cannot be overemphasized. We intend to follow the regional cooperation model which we pursued in dealing with the threat of Boko Haram. So a similar approach is required, this time across the whole of West Africa, regarding the security situation associated with transhumance migration in particular.
Factors complicating this, as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says, include climate change, related environmental factors, and activities of criminals who are taking advantage of porous borders and proliferation of illegal weapons.
We must be able to track movement. We must ensure that the protocols are complied with and relevant sections are activated. We must not allow the noble vision of the founding fathers, a vision of regional integration, to be derailed by a failure to comply with the safeguards and conditions that they, in their wisdom and foresight, embedded in these protocols.
Solution, he says, must take into consideration law enforcement, climate change, and reforms in current practices in crop and animal production, stressing that walking animals for long distance is no longer the norm.
Both herders and farmers are very important for the regional efforts towards food security. And the more the conflicts between them escalate, the more the reduction in the opportunities of guaranteeing food security. It was as a result of our recent experiences in Nigeria that His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari directed me to consult with the President of the ECOWAS Commission for the possibility of collaborative efforts among member states in order to address the fundamental issues involving the remote and immediate causes of these conflicts.
This is clearly a regional issue. It requires a regional approach to deal effectively with it.
A conference with the theme, Working Together for Regional Integration, Peace and Security, was organized to fashion out collaborative solutions to herdsmen and farmers' conflict, noted to be threatening national and regional security. In Abuja, Jide Onifate, NT News.
Meanwhile, ECOWAS countries have resolved to adopt transhuman and animal movement regulations to check the escalating herdsmen-farmers conflict across the sub-region. This formed part of the resolution at the ministerial regional meeting convened by ECOWAS and Nigeria in Abuja. Garba Mohammed Nata'ala reports.
And inadequate investment in livestock.
The ministers of Interior and Agriculture from ECOWAS member states are in Abuja for a common purpose, to find solution to herdsmen-farmers conflict that is escalating across the sub-region and the Sahel. It is a problem that Nigeria has a bitter story to tell.
We're about to start these mega ranches we're going to build, but one ranch per farmer is almost impossible to contemplate in Nigeria. It's too costly.
Nasarawa is one of the states affected by the conflict. The state governor expressed optimism in the new regional regulatory approach and said it will be domesticated in his state.
Surely support, collaborate and partner with them to ensure that we implement them to the letter so that we will be able to reduce the crisis in our country.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama said, when implemented, the regional approach will control the movement of herdsmen and hopefully restore cordial relationship between them and their host communities. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Nata'ala, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has warned Nigerians not to play into the hands of agents of disunity who are desperately bent on bringing the nation to a sorry state of insecurity. In a statement signed by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari decried the repeated acts of mass killings and destructions in the country, particularly Benue State, saying it points to the evil design of enemies of peace and unity. Expressing great pain by the persistent violence by those he called hideously evil people who have no iota of respect for humanity, decency and civilization, the president says those behind the church attack that left 18 people dead, including 2 priests, and the reprisal attacks on the Hausa communities which led to the death of 11 people will be fished out and punished. He assured that measures are being put in place which will bring to an end the extremely brutal and wanton killings. And CP clears the air on rumored burning of worship centers. Charles brings us details of this and more from Makati. It's over to you, Charles.
Thank you very much, and a warm welcome to Makati. The Benue State Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owesani, has debunked the rumors making the rounds that some worship centers were burnt in the wake of the recent crisis in the state. He said the police and other security agencies proactively rose to the occasion and doused the tension.
We've been getting unfounded rumor, which we believe that some elements who want to further hit up the polity of the state are propagating. This is falsehood. It is not a religious war. It is not a tribal war. The criminals that have committed this act, we are not giving this ethnic coloration, religious coloration, or political coloration. There were some incidents that had happened that people had related with that attack.
The commission that some fatalities were recorded at an incident in Goma local government area of the state on Wednesday.
In the incident we had, sadly, we had some fatalities. We have 13.
He urged the people of Benue to be calm as adequate security personnel have been deployed to various vulnerable communities to forestall fresh attacks. Meanwhile, calm has returned to Makati after Tuesday's security breaches that halted normal activities in some parts of the metropolis. Correspondent Achigli Magaji reports that this follows the quick intervention of security agencies and government.
The killing of 2 Catholic priests and 17 worshippers in Gwe local government area sparked reactions in Makati Tuesday, paralyzing economic activities. The situation has, however, changed Wednesday morning as many people affected seem to have put the incident behind them. The Wurukun and Wadata markets that were abruptly closed down have picked up with traders displaying their wares.
No peace, real. That is my own opinion. No peace, real.
Many of the shops on the street along your Chayu Road, Kashi Ibrahim and other parts of high level were open to business, while transport companies and schools were operating. Some members of the public appealed for peace.
We are not happy because they think they affect our business.
And because at least there is enough security. That is why I can't be afraid.
The government has to ensure that all the security agencies involved are interwoven.
In the meantime, security personnel were strategically deployed to prevent recurrence. In Makati, Achigli Magaji, NTA News.
That report runs our contribution from Makati. Elizabeth, is back to you.
Thank you, Charles. Ahead on the news tonight, federal government pays compensation to families of victims of September 2013 Apple killings. We'll be back in just a moment.
Madam, pipe don't burst. We need 5,000 to fix up.
Good day, madam. A gentle reminder of my already due remuneration for the tutelage of your offspring.
Babe, what's up now? Are you no longer interested in their shape?
Them don't take light, oh. Even I say our credit don't finish. My salary self don't due.
Send money, buy airtime, and pay bills. All with one dial. No internet access needed. Dial *710# to open a Diamond Yellow account today.
Madam, my own call.
His Eminence Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abu Bakr Zassad, CFRMNI, the Sultan of Sokoto, cordially invites the pleasure of the general public to the presentation and launching of books on the biography of His Highness Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar, CFRMNI, the 20th Emir of Gwandu, and that of his predecessors, Friend Sheikh Abdullahi Fodio today. Date, Saturday, the 28th of April, year 2018, at the Convocation Square, Wazir Umar Federal for Takna Birning, Kebbi State. Time, 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chairman of the occasion, Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki, Senate President. Chief Luncher, Chief Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, National Leader APC. Book Reviewer, Professor Mukhtar Umar Bunza, Honorable Commissioner High Education, Kebbi State. Chief Host, His Excellency Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Executive Governor, Kebbi State. Announcer, Senator Muhammad Adam Alerugar, Chairman, Men Organizing Committee. You are all highly welcome.
Hey, Anu. Look, I got something for you.
A football chassis?
Hey, Adu, come watch a game with your uncle and I.
Please, come. I'm okay, thanks.
The kind of person that you asked me to be. My brother say you love me, I love him too. I tell him I will do anything for you. But it's strange.
Just how many goals you scored?
I no get you. I look up like this, say, who are you?
So, Daddy, you showed those blues Pepe yesterday, right?
You sure did.
Those 3 points are sure for us today.
Remind me how.
The game is about to start. Quick, please.
The Office of the Governor on Public-Private Partnership, Imo State Government House, Owerri, cordially invites the public to the Business Summit and formal launch of the Imo State Public-Private Partnership, PPP, theme, Engineering Economic Growth through Partnership. Date, 27th April 2018. Venue, Trade and Investment Center, New Owerri, Imo State. Time, 9 a.m. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Owele Rochas Anayo Okorocha, Executive Governor, Imo State. Ngozi Chinyere Nwanebu, announcer.
Madam. Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was...
You take that one. You take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama wants the United Nations to assist Nigeria in developing a framework that will provide qualitative excellent and timely care to old persons in order to halt the rise in cases of neglect. The minister said this while interacting with a team from the Department of Economic Affairs and Social Development at the United Nations headquarters in New York, who are in Nigeria to meet stakeholders on building capacity and strategy for taking care of the aged.
The President has signed the Senior Citizen Act, so clearly this is something we are thinking about and we're trying to address, as a government, and we feel that it's, a priority. We are engaging at the international level, also. But a lot of all this also has to be underpinned by just economic development,
Members of the team told the minister that the challenges faced by old people are not peculiar to Nigeria, hence the need for the world to pay greater attention to their plight.
Of course, we're already found some major issues with regard to access to health care, income security, caregiving. Those are the three, as well as data, of course, lack of age disaggregated data.
Neglect, it's another area which we consider abuse when older people or older persons are neglected by their own family. And that happens more and more with industrialization, with urbanization, but also with migration. Younger people are moving, and very often older people are left with grandchildren.
Following the confirmation by the Senate, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of the Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, Mr. Anthony Ojukwu, for initial term of 5 years. Others are Lucky Orimisan Aidehiwa, Non-Executive Director, Niger Delta Development Commission, Chika Ama Mmawa, and Nwogu Wagu. Professor James Momo has also been appointed as the chairman, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, for initial term of 5 years. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation indicates that the appointments take immediate effect. President Muhammadu Buhari received the backing of the National Economic Council at its meeting this Thursday on the purchase of the Super Tucano aircraft, claiming that the president took the action to reinforce the fight against insurgents. NEC also approved the establishment of ranches in 5 states. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports on these and other deliberations at the meeting.
It is an emergency situation, says Governor of Jigawa State, Badaru Abubakar Mohammed, defending the president on the purchase of the aircraft.
If you recall, we have been battling with approval from America to buy this equipment since 2014. Then luckily, the president said it's okay to buy. That's President Trump. So we have to quickly buy before they change their mind. Because there is also a deadline, and this is state-to-state transaction, no middleman.
The NEC committee of 9 governors, with the vice president as chairman, submitted a report on the immediate and remote causes of farmers' herdsmen crisis in the country.
Decided that the most 5 affected states should be visited. Subsequently, the 5 states were asked to make recommendations on the specific interventions they would like the state government and federal government to make in their respective states, and then also be able to provide solution that is also akin to their own problems in the various states.
The intervention program in the agri sector is said to be recording progress.
Last 1.5 years, agricultural exports have grown by 150%. And we are finally a nation that imports less than we export. That has not been the case for nearly 3 decades. So we now export more than we import, which is why the foreign reserve is getting healthier by the week.
According to the Accountant General of the Federation, the balance in the excess crude accounts as at April the 23rd, 2018 stands at 1,829,862 $1,047.
The Vice President was commended for the support in ensuring that the first phase of the Economic Recovery Growth Plan focused labs by the Ministry of Budget and National Planning was a success. In the State House, Jude Unifade, NT News.
The Senate has begun the consideration of the request by President Muhammadu Buhari for the inclusion of $496.3 million in the 2018 budget for the purchase of military helicopters. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Sunko reports.
The presidential request was the first item for consideration, moved by Deputy Senate Leader Senator Bala Ibn Nala.
From Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief was read yesterday, Wednesday, the 25th day of April 2018.
But we should demand that the money be returned to follow due process to the end.
Most importantly, this money approved by a National Economic Council meeting. It was approved by the same governors, Council of State. So what do you want the president to do? To wait until we approve it?
The issue is that an infraction that has been done and has called for us to see what do we do.
Thereafter, Senate President referred the matter to the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters for technical input and to advise the Senate at the next plenary session.
They recommend the suggestion of the leader that let us send it to Judiciary to advise one whether truly, from those who are not laymen, whether the Constitution has been breached.
The issue of national security was also considered as Senator George Akume from Benue State moved the motion for the Senate to condemn the recent attack at a place of worship in Benue State.
To urgently provide more relief materials to the growing number of IDPs.
Mr. President, over the years, we had all these experiences across the country.
And do whatever is humanly possible to fish out the culprits.
Every one of us has a responsibility, irrespective of our geopolitical divide, and see how we can tackle it.
Consequently, the Senate resolved to seek the consent of the House of Representatives to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari in a joint session on how to address security challenges in the country.
But clearly something needs to be done, and we will make sure that something is done.
On the Senate earlier resolution to invite the Inspector General of Police to appear before it on matter of security, a response by the Inspector General of Police was presented before the Senate.
Senior Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly matters approached me this afternoon and intimated me of the fact that the Inspector General of Police is out of town, that he's in Bauchi with Mr. President.
The Senate considered the report of its Committee on Public Accounts on the investigation of all subsidy monies spent by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, without the approval of the National Assembly, as the Senate called for a comprehensive audit of the NNPC in the last 5 years. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The need for the National Assembly to make laws that will translate to national development dominated deliberations at Thursday's plenary. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports that the request by President Muhammadu Buhari for the purchase of a specialized aircraft to check insecurity in the country also took center stage.
Deliberations on the president's request to include the $496 million for the purchase of the specialized aircraft in the 2018 appropriations under consideration by the National Assembly focused on the legality and procedures followed in the presidential communication.
This appropriation bill has not yet been concluded. It can still be ordered, altered, or varied.
What we're trying to do is to see the procedure in which we look at this as responsible citizens of this country and to see the best way forward.
For the House to be properly guided in taking decision, Speaker Yakubu Dogara referred the matter to the Rules and Business Committee.
To say we can't consider communications from the President, I think is off limits. We will have to look into it. So my ruling would be to still refer this matter to the Committee on Rules and Business to check
the archives of the House or other parliaments elsewhere to see whether there's any precedent that we can ground this communication on.
Motions on the need to address the excessive charges for driver's license by the Federal Road Safety Corps by Representative Johnson Okuma, the urgent need to establish Army Barrack in Mubi, Adamawa State, and that by Representative Mohammed Mongono urging government to reconstruct the Ikwamarute-Mongono Federal Road in Borno State were adopted. In the Committee of the Whole, the House adopted the report by Police Affairs Committee on a bill for an act to amend the Explosive Act of 2004, but stood down that of the Committee on National Security and Intelligence for further amendments. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Successful use of culture in resolving crises has been identified as a major tool in achieving peace, unity and development in the country. At a lecture on culture, identity and conflict transformation by the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, cultural experts pointed out that Nigeria must go back to the roots in order to bring about reconciliation. Oinai Kaloka reports.
Speakers noted that before the colonial period, Nigerians lived in peace with one another, managing their conflicts well. How did the country get it wrong was the critical question.
Deliberate policies of the British and how they failed to bring us together. There was no investment in ensuring that integration took place.
The lecture examined the emergence of identities and its impact on conflicts in Nigeria. The social, political, economical, as well as religious perspective of culture in resolving crises was stressed.
The African cultural value preaches brotherhood and being a brother's keeper.
Culture is not always factored into conflict resolution.
We define our culture where there is conflict, there must be dialogue and discussion.
That no child should go, when you go to school, you must learn how to read and write in your mother tongue.
The work of NTA is beyond that mundane function of a media organization. It's the issue of national integration that is fundamental of NTA. And by our mission statement, projecting the true perspective of Africa.
A 192-page book entitled Leadership, Culture and Ethics in Nigeria was unveiled.
Is to enable Nigerians rediscover themselves and understand our ideological direction from pre-colonial days.
The comprehensive document is an interaction with traditional institutions across the country. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
The federal government has paid 135 million naira compensation to the families of the victims of September 2013 Apo killing. Ali Utuko reports that the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, handed over the check to the incoming chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, for onward distribution to families.
September 2013, the DSS received intelligence report that there was to be an attack in Abuja by Boko Haram group. Following this tip-off, the DSS, together with the army, led a joint security operation, which resulted in the loss of life of 8 persons and injuring 11. The Minister of Justice entered into negotiations with the victims' families and the DSS with a view to settling the judgment awarded by the Commission. The families of the 8 people killed will receive 10 million naira each, while the 11 persons injured will receive 5 million naira each.
I am further glad to inform the public of this gesture, the first of its kind in Nigeria, coming from President Muhammadu Buhari, which is confirming his commitment to the rule of law, upholding justice and respecting human rights.
Upon the handing over of this check now, before the close of work today, they will be receiving their alerts.
We wish to thank Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, for his fervent stand for the ordinary masses.
The National Human Rights Commission says it will commence a special training for security agencies in order to avoid a reoccurrence of such incident. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Elizabeth in Lagos brings us more reports. Over to you, Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth, and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Nigerian Navy has arrested a vessel, MV Chimba, for entering the country's territorial waters illegally with 406 passengers on board. Commander NNS Beecroft Commodore Okon Eyo, in a major briefing, says the passengers are from Togo, Benin Republic, Mali, Niger, and Nigeria. Paul Omokago reports.
This is the cargo and passenger vessel that was arrested by the Nigerian Navy off Lagos Bar. It is visually identified as MV Chimba Express, but the Navy say it also has another name, Ramadan 4. That is one of the issues the Navy has to resolve. However, the principal offense against the vessel was unauthorized entry into Lagos Bar. Commander of NNS Beecroft, Commodore Okon Eyo, says at the time of arrest, the vessel also had regular and deportee passengers numbering 406.
The search by the facility revealed that MV Chimba Express, the vessel in question, does not operate an active AIS. Hence, our history trail could not be established. Additionally, the Maritime Mobile Service Identity, MMSI, obtained from the ship's document indicates that no vessel has that MMSI. Ship document also shows that the ship was flagged at Cameroon as against the electronic documentation of registration in Honduras.
The commander says a combined team from the Navy, Immigration and Customs Services, the DSS, as well as NIMASA, are profiling the passengers and investigating the incident. In Lagos, Paul Omokago, NTA News.
Spanish Football League, also known as La Liga, has signed an agreement with AJ's Nigeria, makers of Big Cola as La Liga regional partner in Nigeria. The deal was sealed at a press conference held in Lagos. Correspondent Olumide Eguntola.
Please make sure I look young and handsome.
The making of a new deal between AJ East and La Liga, the Spanish Professional Football League. The parties to the deal elaborate on the details, which generally is to further develop soccer in Nigeria and Africa.
So thanks to Bicola, we'll be able to get closer from the football fans in Nigeria and get tickets, get merchandising, bring football stars, maybe create football clinics for the youth, and maybe sending Nigerian football fans to go to attend the game in Spain to see the best football clubs in the world.
La Liga has been here in partnership with LMC, in which we have been doing everything possible to help in youth development.
We need this collaboration to get to grassroots level. And further, we want to be able to ensure that the people of Nigeria, all the people, are fully aware of the viable alternative, Big Cola.
La Liga is a brand that craves awareness. Bicola is a brand too. We are both go-getters, you understand? We have stars in La Liga. Bicola itself is a star. And I believe when stars and stars meet, bigger stars emerge.
The partnership with AJ's Nigeria, the producer of Bicola, is part of La Liga's projects in Nigeria, which includes the MPFL All-Star trip to Spain and coaching seminar for youth coaches in Lagos. Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead. When we return, stay with us.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
one of the 3 kitchen makeovers, 10 chest freezers, 12 double-door refrigerators, airtime, other great prizes for your kitchen, and more in the Mamador Kitchen Makeover. Buy a 2.5 or 3.5 liter bottle of Mamador cooking oil and follow the instructions on the label. SMS the word Mamador followed by the unique PIN to 20822 and follow the instructions. Visit mamador.com.ng for more details.
Dettol team is visiting schools to teach children how to protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses? No. They are spread through germs. You collect germs that cause diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands and taking your bath with Dettol soap to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Bath yourself, Dettol soap every day. Wash your hands.
Dettol soap is now also available for 100 Naira only.
Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. A delicious combination of rich cocoa and wholesome goodness of milk. Just add hot water to get an instant chocolatey treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. Just add hot water.
When I was a little girl, I loved spending time with Mum and Grandma cleaning the house. I knew what Grandma's secret was. I was so excited to sing in the choir.
And your shirts are always so white.
I knew what Mum's secret was. Today, I'm a modern woman that still trusts the secrets passed down to me.
It's Jik, of course, the trusted bleach which can be used all around your house for amazing results. Shh, it's our little secret. It's no secret. Jik removes 101 stains. Just Jik it.
Following years of research and documentation, African Image and Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in partnership with Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, presents Nigerian Sports Book of Records, 1884 to 2017. It is the first ever detailed and comprehensive history and achievements of all sports in the country, comprising 300 pages of masterly crafted content. Nigerian Sports Book of Records delivers 133 years of sports memories to sports audiences to complement the development strides of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in sports sector. Details of public presentation of the book are as follows. Date, 5th June 2018. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. For sponsorship enquiries, call Quanta on 0803-897-1997 and Angelina on 0805-465-3056. Nigeria Sports Book of Records, a celebration of great sports heroes and heroines.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. The Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC, has shared 626.827 billion naira among the 3 tiers of government as distributable revenue for the month of April. Correspondent Vivian Idegbefo reports that the amount, 20.563 billion naira, was the revenue distributed in the month of March. This is due to a shortfall in crude oil export sales by $33.58 million, representing 13% loss in the month of March. The monthly meeting was chaired by the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, who explained that reconciliation with the NNPC was in progress, as is the practice in public accounting.
Procedures should not truncate morality of payment of salaries, and so on and so forth. And we feel it is important to discharge our obligations to the Nigerian worker. And that is exactly what we've been able to do. On the amount that we are expecting to come in from NNPC, we don't talk on mere speculation and hearsay. We have to wait for the amount to come, and we see it to the last kobo, and we know what will be distributed. And that is accounting, and that is public finance.
At $1.830 billion. The Bank of Industry says it is planning to increase its lending to small and medium enterprises by 200% over the 29.5 billion naira recorded in 2017 to boost economic activities in the country. Musa Abubakar reports that the chairman, Aliu Abdurrahman Diko, stated this while declaring 26.3 billion naira as profit before tax at the bank's annual general meeting in Abuja.
With geopolitical tension around the world and a Nigerian economy recovering from 15-month recession, 2017 was a challenging year, most especially for operators in the banking sector. Despite the difficulty, however, shareholders of Bank of Industry have a reason to cheer.
I hereby propose a dividend to the tune of 1.5 billion.
Besides the proposed dividends, the group's total assets improved by 4.5% from 682 billion to 713 billion naira between 2016 and 2017. Also, the group's total equity rose from 16.9 billion to 241 billion naira, representing a growth of 55.6%. What is worthy of note is that lending to micro, small and medium enterprises have increased to 29.5 billion compared to 8.2 billion naira in 2016.
Oh yes, we should do much better this year. The indicators are there, really. The economy is doing much better now. And we are catalysts to the growth and development of the economy. So when the economy is doing well, we will do well.
We should be lending on the average at least to bridge the gap of about 700 billion that we have identified in the funding for industrial sector.
Bank of Industry promoting small, light industry, which is, we're happy.
With a statement of intent to make credit facilities available to microeconomic sectors and new directors coming on board, shareholders remain optimistic of the future. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
We take another break to bring you some messages. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Helen! Your kitchen gets 10 out of 10. Thank you. This also gets a 10. Should we see the toilet now? Sure. This gets just 1.
It is clean.
But not perfect 10.
Better than my detergent and bleach? Impossible.
Challenge? Try the new Apic 10X.
Compared to bleach and detergent, Apic sticker formulation removes yellow stains times better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow.
Now you also take that?
Apic 10X Challenge.
Also available in 200 ml packs.
A Nigerian powerful.
I trust the power of Dettol's 1 capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's 1 capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Be 100% sure.
Tamara Ebiwe brings us sports update.
After a series of postponement, the 2017-2018 season of the Nigeria National League is set to kick off weekend, with 18 matches to be decided at different venues across the country. Matches have been scheduled in 4 groups, with Adamawa United set to welcome Jigawa Stars in Group A1, while the Kaduna Derby between Kaduna United and Kada FC heralds Group A2. Spartans will travel to play Bendel Insurance in Group B1, while Group B2 fixtures pit Nnewi United against Delta Stars.
We are expecting fans to come out to the stadium and watch their games. We have more games than last year because we have 40 teams this season.
South African
Mrs. Joanna Usman Lehman has died at the age of 76. She died today after a protracted illness. She's survived by her children and grandchildren. Among them is the National Secretary of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Shuaib Usman Lehman. Burial arrangements will be announced later. And that's it on NTA Network News. We thank you for watching. Good night.
Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip.